Hello, power couples. We are the Phalos. I am Joy, and this is my husband, Derek. I am super excited to introduce not only my cousins, but our guest speakers that will be at the marriage retreat, at our very first marriage retreat. Okay, I'm not going to give them too much more. I want you all to introduce yourself. Tell us what, as much as you want to share, whatever you want to share. It's your turn.
I am Tanisha, wife of Ty
Ty
Dillon
Dillon. Yeah.
Senior,
Uh-huh.
wife of 22 years. We met in middle school. We middle school sweethearts, not high school sweethearts. Met in middle school. Been married 22 years. But make a long story short, we originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We got married in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, June 8th, 2003. Got
Mhm.
married on a Sunday, relocated on a Friday to the Nashville area. We knew that was what we needed for us at the time. And so we moved. I had gone to school in Nashville.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to go someplace that was somewhat familiar, not totally unfamiliar to both of us.
She had made me agree, like, hey, after we get married, we're not staying here.
Yeah,
Just
moved
move.
back for the wedding
Yeah.
because all of our family was there, and so it only made sense for us to get married in Milwaukee. So I moved back for the purpose of us getting married. But I did tell him, promise me you will not make me stay here.
And my perspective was the worst thing that can happen, we move back home. We know what's there.
Yeah,
So let's try something else.
That's
yeah.
right.
So got married on a Sunday, moved on a Friday.
So you didn't fight him on this?
No, no, we
No?
didn't.
Okay.
We
No,
didn't
we didn't
fight.
fight. It was cool.
It was,
It
yeah,
was
it
cool.
was our decision.
Yeah,
Okay.
she had me like, I don't know what was going on, what she did to me, because I was doing well. Because
That's
and all my boys was like, man, what's
exactly.
wrong with you, man? She got you. Yeah, I don't know. So
I took the blame,
yeah.
but you had.
Gotcha.
Anyway, married on a Sunday, moved on a Friday, relocated to the Nashville area, stayed there. He was doing well in business, entrepreneur. That's who I married, an entrepreneur, a
Mhm.
Okay.
creative. So we were gonna do this thing.
Yeah.
He's a visionary, always had a gazillion ideas. He's a visionary with ideas.
She's the
I'm the
administrator.
administrator. I got the business
We
degree.
good.
So we're gonna
Okay.
put them together, make this money. It's gonna be
Yeah.
wonderful.
A perfect marriage, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. That's
exactly.
right. Yeah.
Then he gets called into full-time ministry, which was not on either of our
Either of
lists
our radar.
Okay.
to do.
Exactly.
So we stay in Tennessee at the church that we were attending at the time. They started a church here, another location here in Gadsden. That's how we ended up here. He served under
Wow.
that ministry for a period of time before the People Place Church was started during the pandemic. That's
Yeah.
a whole nother story
A
for
whole
another
nother
day.
story. Who starts
Yeah.
the pandemic when nobody's going to church?
But that's how
You
we
do.
got from Milwaukee to Nashville to Gadsden. That's a summary of our story.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I like that, man. Thank you for sharing that. I just think that's important. If people hear that, the fact that you two saw, well, you saw a need to get out of that situation that you were in. I don't know what all the particulars were going on, but you knew you didn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
He had a knowing too, because
Yeah.
when we were dating, he that was that your proposal call?
No, I don't think that was a
That wasn't a
proposal call.
proposal call. So I got to tell this one too, since we out here telling stories. We have been friends since middle school. And so we progressed over the years, kept in touch over the years. Well, when we decided to, we weren't dating, but we had gotten closer, a little closer. And so he called me one night when he was out doing bachelor things. He had called me one night, middle of the night. I answered the phone, and he's just like, "Man, I'm tired, just living this life. I know this ain't me." And he knew he was just ready for a change and ready to move forward. And he's like, "Hey, I don't want to mess up our friendship. If we're going to date or take our relationship to another level, we got to get married. Because if it don't work out, like, I don't want to mess up our friendship. So if we're going to do this, we got to get married."
And she was like,
Okay.
I love
so
So he was at a point where he knew, he was ready for change and all of that. And so it really just kind of worked out that
yeah.
way.
And then I think too, just people are hearing about the moving. I think all of those were strategic, not by us necessarily, even though we had a desire to move like from Milwaukee to Nashville. But I think it was a God thing. We look in hindsight and we say, hey, we may not even still be married. We may not be talking to you all had we stayed in that same city because of the environment that I was in mostly, and just running with people that were not headed in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so you find yourself in certain atmospheres. It's called the law of association. You're going
Okay.
to rub off on them. They're going to rub off on you. And if they have, it's the majority of them. And
Right.
so you're running with all these single guys. It creates for some issues and some challenges somewhere along the way. And so we know it was God's way of moving us out, having us to Himself, and us to one another,
Yeah.
so that we can get strengthened. And that's why we're here. And
Okay,
they
it makes
still
sense to me.
together.
Still
And
together.
still,
I'm glad you mentioned that about environment because Derek literally just said that in our previous podcast, in episode 4, that he had to move out of his environment,
yeah.
and that's when we decided to move here. So people, it ain't just him, but yeah, you said the same thing. So it's
And,
a real thing.
I
Oh,
You
it's
know
a
what I
big
mean?
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
it's,
hang in the barbershop long enough, you're gonna get a haircut.
oh
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
That's
that's
it.
I was a
totally
barber.
Right.
So you already know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no
yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
We're excited to be with you guys.
Yeah, it's great to be here. We appreciate you all having us on. We're excited about it, man. It's gonna be good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So let's just do a little icebreaker. Let's kind of warm up a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
So if you all had to describe marriage in one word, because y'all have been married for 22 years, we're trying to get there. 11 years for us.
Yay.
So what does that look like in one word?
And say at
One
the same
word.
time, so nobody can cheat.
That's cool. All
So
right.
you ready?
And do your kids.
Yeah,
3, 2, 1.
work.
That is hilarious.
And we didn't discuss that.
We did not discuss
Yeah,
our answer.
it's
But
work
yeah,
for sure.
marriage is
Work.
work.
Yeah.
It's WORK. Work
Yeah.
is work. In a good way, it's
Yeah.
really how you look at it and how you approach it. But marriage is absolutely work, but it can be a good work. It can be fun. It
No,
can
yeah.
be all of that. But it's work.
Yeah, it's work. I think the most work is not, it is working on a marriage, but marriage requires you to work on you.
That part.
That's the challenge.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Marriage
Absolutely.
brings some stuff out of you that I don't know comes out of you in any other environment. And so it's
absolutely.
work. But if you want a good marriage and a healthy marriage, you have to be willing to work on yourself.
Mhm.
I think, and that's what a lot of people, they spend time trying to work on the other person.
Yes, because
And
it's so much easier to tell him about him. You want to hear about me. Let me tell you about you.
yeah,
But no, the true work is, yeah, when I
yeah,
look at me and say, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this differently. I could have said that a different
yeah,
way. It's work.
yeah. So
Wow.
that's your
When I
word.
when I hear you say that, working on yourself, I I guess see that as in my mind. So for me, right, when I hear people give me definitions of things as they see them, I be wanting them to really kind of give me an example of what it looks like, right? So
Hmm.
I hear in my mind what you're saying is that work would look like me going saying, um, my attitude is crazy, right? So I'm going to go fix my attitude so I can be a better husband for
Yeah,
Joe.
right.
Would it be correct to say that that's what you're alluding to when you say that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I would say for me, one example I would give for me, he would,
Here we go.
uh,
Here we
I'll start with him.
No,
Start
I'm
with
just
him.
messing with
No, he would just the way I said something.
you. Yeah.
And I felt like that became the focus. No, let's talk about you not taking this trash out. We were talking about you didn't take the trash out.
Mhm.
But no, the real work is okay, Tanisha, you could have said that a little differently. Yes, the trash should have been taken out and he should have done his part, but my part is how I came at him. I need to be respectful in my approach and all of those things. So that's where the work is, looking at yourself and not just focusing on, well, if he would have took the trash out, I wouldn't have had to say it like that. That was my go-to. And back in the day, I'm a little bit more mature now. But
Yes.
back, it was again, it's so much easier to say, well, if he wouldn't have, then I wouldn't. But at the end of the day, all I can control is me. And
That's right.
so once I started making those adjustments and putting the work into me, yeah, you could have said that differently. Why did you say it like that? Why do you feel like you can talk to him? That's the work.
That's the
Is
work.
really looking internally to look at what can I adjust about me, because I can't control him.
Right.
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 Absolutely.
Right. And likewise, both are important. So then you look at, okay, yeah, she said it wrong. She said it wrong. She said it wrong. No, I'm just like, so yeah, she didn't say it correctly, but is it true? That's the work too. Is it true? And when you get past of the delivery, how it came across, you're like, yeah, that trash been sitting there for 2 days. That's on me. And so that's the work to say, okay, now why has it been sitting there? You've been walking past it, you've been seeing it, smelling it like everybody else. So why
That's
haven't
it.
you take it? Okay, now I got to deal with this. What's this procrastination that I got going on? Whatever. So that's the work. That's the work. And you see that, and I think the more we realize that, the more we go into uh situations or discussions or interactions looking to see what adjustments do I need to make versus what does the other person need to make. Because sometimes in marriage you're trying to find stuff to quote unquote fix the other person. And yeah, that's a no-go because you just can't make anyone do anything, but what you can control is you. Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah, let's talk about this word that y'all both said on the count of three. I think that's what real marriage is, completing each other's sentences.
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't know, but Derek and I often do that, and like y'all didn't even know. I just feel like there's that connection. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? When you can complete each other's sentence, and I
Yeah.
don't know.
Hmm.
I just thought that was powerful that y'all
Yeah.
both said the same exact word.
Yeah.
I got chills because it's just like, okay, yeah. So yeah, why do you all think investing in your marriage is important? Because keep in mind, y'all have been married for 22 years. So what does 22 years look like? Like the high, the lows, the in-betweens, I don't know about y'all, but Derek and I divorced about 10 times in this 11-year period. But I
That's
mean,
it.
I'm gonna try to be fine. No, but seriously, when you get mad at each other or something, you know what I mean? You be like, you know what? It's just over because it's easy to just leave
Yeah.
than to stay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
The world will just pack up and walk away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The world tell you, "Oh, well, yeah, it's going back. Going out there. Going
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, his ongoing joke, well, not anymore. He hadn't said it in a while, but he used to say he kept the bag by the door.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's easy to be like, I ain't signed up for this. Forget this. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But what does that look like to invest ongoing? I think it definitely depends, and it'll change over time and over seasons. Because 22 years ago, in
That's
our
good.
20s, it was just the two of us working. It was way different back then than it is now.
Yeah.
And so it has definitely changed over the years. But I think one of the major things we can say, we agreed from the beginning, divorce was not an option.
Right.
And so we didn't really know what that looked like in the beginning, especially the investment part. And like you said, the ups and downs and highs and lows. You get married, and of course, in my mind, we're gonna do this, and this. You have all these dreams and aspirations and things that you think you're gonna do, and life happens, and you have to learn how to make those adjustments. So it's been, for us, we decided on the front end, divorce is not an option. And so no matter how tough it got, that bag was gonna stay by the door, but we weren't picking it up and leaving and going anywhere. And so it's just been, as much as whether it was going on trips, whenever we could, or it was okay, we're gonna watch a movie together, but it's intentional time with just the two of us. No work, no kids, nothing else outside of this right here.
Hmm.
That's what ongoing investments looks like to me. So you can
Yeah,
tag.
I would agree. But I think it can be no kids, no work, that type of thing. But it also can just be a text, or it also can just be a, hey, just call and check on you, or hey, how you feeling,
Or
or
bringing you a Chico stick.
bringing you a Chico stick. She know how to get to my heart. Chico stick. And so, you know, and that's important. Knowing those little things Sometimes we think it's the trip to the Bahamas. We think it's we're going to Dubai. We're going on a cruise. No, it's just knowing I'm thought of and you get me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You understand me. You know I like football on. I'm not a big football fan, but somebody likes football on Monday, and so by the time I get home, you got snacks ready. You know I like Doritos. You understand I like whatever, and so it's all set up. And you're like, hey, enjoy the game. That goes so far because it's saying, hey, I value what you value because you value it. It's not my thing, but you're my thing. And so therefore I value that. And so those things I think are constant investments when I'm saying I'm showing I'm that you're a priority, you know, and again, it doesn't have to be quote unquote big to be big, you know, just knowing just these things that uh, I like little nuances that other people may not even know I like the Chico stick, but that's what makes it more special because you know that. And
Right.
so now for you to bring me that little, well, I don't know how much they cost now, everything nowadays, you know, I was gonna say 10 cent, but that's back in the day. You know what I mean? Yeah. So however much it costs, but that goes so far because you know that little nuance and you know, that is something that I just kind of enjoy, you know. So I think that's the investment when you're willing to make sure
Stay
that person
tuned in with one
understands.
another. Can
Sir,
I say basically staying tuned in with one
that's
another?
staying in tune, man. And that takes work.
Yeah.
Staying in tune because what she said is so true. I didn't have pastoring, all these other things on the radar for me. You know, I wasn't a, you know, generational family passed down type of thing. So on the onset, there was things that I need from her now from a support standpoint that I didn't need then. I didn't even know to need it. You
Yeah.
know, so that investment does change over time with life, and she didn't need a certain support as a mother that she needs now with 3 kids because we didn't have children, you know, on the onset. So there's those things being flexible and being ready to flow, and it's a constant investment too, a constant investment. So yeah, that's a part of it, a big part of it.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that. So I got another question for y'all. So how important is it for couples to maintain separate interests and hobbies? So I guess I want to say that, I always tell Joy, um, I think it's important that we try to keep some semblance of our individual selves. Like we come into this marriage or relationship as individuals. And I think it's important to try to maintain a little bit of that your identity as an individual, as a couple still. So
Hmm.
whatever your interests are, I don't want to get in the way of your interests. I want you to pursue them. I want to help you pursue those interests
Yeah.
because your own individual happiness shouldn't be forsaken as a result of you being married to me.
That's very good.
Yeah.
That's so true. And then you see it a lot, even when people have children,
Yeah.
they lose themselves in parenthood. And the kids grow up and leave for college and they just lost. Like they don't have a clue of what to do, who they are, what they like, and all of that.
Hmm.
So it's very important to maintain your individual interests. But like you said, supporting each other in it.
Yes.
Sometimes we see it where people go to the other extreme and they're their own person, they're doing their own thing. And it's like, why you even get married? If you're just going to do you,
Yeah.
that's not the type of separation we're talking about. But yeah, I think it's very important. We encourage each other because again, being in full-time ministry, there are no hands on the clock, and so we have to make intentional pauses. And so I'll tell him, hey, on this day, I'm dropping the kids off at school. I'm gone. Like I will be back when it's time to pick them up from school, just so I can go and breathe and just have some time to do what I
Or
want
I'll
to
tell
do.
her, hey, you hadn't had a break in a while. Hey, you need to go and do this, you know, that type of thing. And I think I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I think that when you realize that that is not something that is your opposition, that person's interest is not your uh
It's not something you have to compete with.
correct. You don't
It
have to
shouldn't be
it
something you
shouldn't be.
compete with.
Yeah, and it makes them better for you.
Yeah.
That's right.
It makes them better for you. Then
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, go do that.
Mhm.
Because when you do that, stress levels down, you come back better, that type of
Right.
thing. Yeah, go enjoy yourself. You know, I'm not competing with that. You know, I think that's when the people have a problem with that, when they feel like they're in competition either for your time or for your whatever it is,
Or even
for
with
your
take a
focus.
football analogy,
Yeah.
again, if it's not balanced properly,
Right.
the wife, husband, whomever can seem like I got to compete for your time. Football season, I don't see you or we don't communicate. That's out of balance.
Yeah.
But when we get some communication and understanding, I don't mind supporting you watching football when we agree,
Yeah.
when we come to some agreement on what that's going to look like.
Yeah. And I have we had to get this early in marriage too, like defining what balance looks like. It's not necessarily equal time.
Yeah.
Because there's some things, whether it's work or whatever it is, that requires maybe more hours on the clock. But balance for us is equal attention. So when I'm here, I'm here.
Yeah.
When I'm in it, I'm in it. And it's not because it's not like, oh, you did 4 hours here, you owe me 4 hours. That's not really real life.
Right.
But whatever we agree to do, then we bring a balance so that there's a tension here as much it is those other areas. And then when I'm with her, it's trying to be present, And so so couples have to define what that looks like for them.
Right.
And that's what I was going to say when Derek was saying just the whole having the extracurricular activities, that type of thing. I think you really have to define what's healthy for that particular relationship and what works for you all, and in the season, because you can have a tough season where I need you more than
anything.
Yeah, I need to know you there. I need you to be there, that type of thing. And you just, man, this thing is work. No, so
Work.
Yeah.
it is.
I like how you said that because I often Derek, I never understood it when we first got married. I can say, hey, I'm finna go to the store. I may be gone 2 or 3 hours. He'll never call and check on me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, dog, do he care? But that's just him. If nothing is wrong, if he felt like if something was wrong, I would be calling him. You know what I mean? And I had to realize that it's okay if he doesn't. It's normal for him not to blow up my phone versus a previous relationship I was in. That's a form of control, maybe. You get what I'm saying? So I guess I'm saying that there are jealous people out here that need to realize the difference in is balance. If you go get your hair done and it may take a little longer, why you blowing up my phone? You get what I'm saying? And I had to learn that too, because I had a little, blowing up the phone while he not answering the phone. Maybe he loves to play chess. And I never understood that, okay, well, he just got off of work. Why he want to go spend 2 hours playing chess? Chess is a long game. But in my mind, I'm thinking other things. But then when I really got to realize that, okay, he's been working all day. He's had a rough day. He just need to get some time to himself. It took me a while to get there, but when I got there, it's like, you know what? Because see, I work from home, so I ain't need to get away from nobody. You know what I mean? But then when I start working back in the workforce, I'm like, okay, you know what? This is what we're going to do. I need to take an hour to myself so I can be better for him. So I like that you said that, and I think people need to realize that, like, it's okay to do, to an extent,
to an extent, right.
Yeah.
It comes with understanding,
and communication.
and communication, and you knowing what that is for me. So this is not me. I don't want to be around you. I'm trying to get away from you and the kids. This is no. I need to decompress. I need to get some of this stuff out so I'm not spilling it over on y'all. So it's my way of making better. And I'm even with Derek, I'm like, yeah, I get that. I'm not calling you because I'm allowing you to have that space. I don't want to interrupt your time. But the same thing can be seen as why you ain't calling. And so if you don't have the communication to know what I'm attempting to do, then it can be taken some kind of way and you don't care. And it's people that think that if you don't argue with them, you don't care. If you ain't going off, you ain't ready, or you just don't care. It's like, no, I'm just being rational. That's what that's called. It's called peace. It's called calm.
I'm observing, and when I go to the store with her, and I notice how she goes about going to the store, which is different from me. I realize you're not intentional. So there's a sense of enjoyment that comes from this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Almost maybe I'm thinking, well, maybe this is almost even therapeutic for her. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? You need to do this more by yourself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I'm getting in the way here. Because I know
He said, I'm
I'm gonna
getting in
be
the way
impatient.
here.
I'm gonna get in your way. You know what I mean? So it's like, so when I know when she goes out to the store, she don't need me calling. I know where she is. She's right in that
Mm-hmm.
store. Yeah.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
peace.
In the
You know,
same
and I'm
At
not gonna
peace.
and I don't want to disturb your peace. No, like you
Yeah.
said, I don't want to disturb your peace.
Yeah. I love that, man. I
Yeah.
love that.
So you all do premarital counseling, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
If you all were to get a brand new couple that's interested in getting married, what are some things that you would tell them? Just give me three good things. I'm sure you have a lot, but three of the top things that you would tell them.
Are you sure? No, that's I'm silly.
No, no,
That's a
like
good one.
serious laughing, but kind of not
Yeah.
laughing. My first, I tell people this, my first counseling session with a new couple is, I mean, in a roundabout way, is I'm trying to change their mind. Because if I could change your mind,
You're
then I
not
don't know
ready.
if you're ready.
I love it.
I'm not
Yes.
directly saying you don't need to do this,
Right.
but I'm giving you
But you
enough
are
to make you,
communicating it in
yeah,
such a way to help you understand this is lifelong commitment.
yes.
This is really weighty. This is no longer about you anymore. Are
Mhm.
you willing to take this person as they are right now if they never change? Like he puts it out there to make you think,
We
oh,
ain't marrying for potential. Well,
yeah.
let's that be number one for a new couple.
Okay.
All right.
Number one.
Don't marry for potential.
Okay, that's good.
You go into it as if this person will never change.
Mhm.
If they do and they get better and they mature and get and they progress into, evolve into
Right.
great. But if you're marrying not a what if, you're marrying a person
Mhm.
and what you see is what you get at this particular point in time. That's usually the thing that stops them in their track, like, oh man. Because some people think, well, it's gonna get better as we get,
Mhm.
get to know each other, whatever. I'm like, no, we don't marry for potential. You want to marry for because this is the person that you feel like
Mhm.
supposed to get married.
So that's number one. Don't
Yeah.
marry on potential.
Yep.
Number two.
You got it too.
Are you sure?
No,
Right.
no, a
Right.
tip, a tip.
A tip, communication
Yeah,
is the
you took
key.
the words out of my mouth. Communication
Communication
is the
is the
key.
key. And
It's the
again,
key.
it goes back to and that's an ongoing process.
Yeah, and not just verbal.
Yeah.
Everything speaks.
Yep.
Mm.
An eye roll, a sucking of the teeth can say a lot.
Yeah.
I look at couples' body language, and sometimes if the man is talking, the woman's talking, you look at the spouse's body language, you're like, oh yeah, that ain't it. Like, that ain't it. Everything speaks.
Yep.
And how if I follow through and I said I'm going to do something, that speaks something.
Mhm.
That speaks to my priority. Does your word carry weight with me? Because you asked me to do this and I didn't get around to it or whatever it is. So communication, we're always communicating
Mhm.
something.
Yep.
So that's huge.
Yep.
That's
That's two.
huge.
What's
Yeah,
the
we'll,
third
we'll
one?
talk about that probably at the retreat. I think that's
Yeah,
going to
for
be a
sure.
good. We'll talk about how to communicate because
Yes.
some people think they're communicating. You're not.
Yep.
It's you hitting the brick wall.
Mhm.
And you
Mm-hmm.
You
wonder why you're
bringing that
not getting
heat.
the
I like
result.
that. I like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bringing that heat. Communication is very, very important.
very.
Communication styles is what you alluded to.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I
Yes.
think that's going to be a heat. That's
We'll
going to be
say
heat
that for
right
the
there.
retreat. We
It,
got
yeah,
the
Absolutely.
Okay. Y'all, that
communication.
means if you're watching this, you
yeah.
need to join the retreat.
You
You
got
still
to
have
join the
time to
retreat.
register. Okay, what's
Yeah,
that third
Don't
one?
meet us
yeah.
there,
This
Philly.
this 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 is like this surface level right here.
Retreat.
Retreat, we going all the way in. You know what I mean? We're gonna give them everything we have. We're
Yep.
gonna help them as much as we can.
Don't marry on potential.
Yeah.
Communication is the key.
Communication.
Number three.
Number three, I mean, which should have been number one,
Mm-hmm.
that a threefold cord is not easily broken. So this union is a God union.
Yeah.
And
Should
so
be.
it should be a God
Yeah.
union because he will be the unchanging factor in your marriage. Over time, both of you gonna change. Your
Right.
needs gonna change, your desires gonna change, aspirations may change, life dynamics, situations may change, but he's gonna be the glue. And so if we're looking at him,
Mm-hmm.
then even our discussions
Mm-hmm.
are
Our heated discussion.
yeah, even
Yeah.
our discussions, it shifts from who's right to what's right.
Hmm.
And if we can make that shift, then now I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not saying stuff because I know if I say this, then I'm gonna jab you, and I'm just listening because I'm waiting to respond. No, let's stay with we're both trying to be the best that we can as those who are individuals who are honoring God in our marriage. And that's I think that's has been the thing. Two major things that have helped us during these 22 years. Um, One is God knew her before I did, and so approaching it as how does it what does it look like to marry God's daughter? How do you treat God's
Ooh,
daughter? How do you treat God's son? And
that's
then
good.
even in your prayers, it's more like, God, that's your daughter. Like, what do I need to do? And or if I know I'm in the right, God, get your daughter. You know what I mean? But what does that look like? And having that perspective of that person, not just here's this woman I liked and she was attractive and we hit it off and we got married. No, God gave Eve to Adam. He presented her. So this is a gift to you. And likewise the gift. You know what I mean? So what does that look like? And then the second thing is just our friendship. So I think I got more than three I done threw out there, but that friendship is that's has been one of the core things. And I tell guys this. Um, I think men, well, women do too, but sometimes your homegirl and your partner, you know, you more invested in that than you are the one who you became one with. Y'all got to see, y'all got to whatever y'all fall out, y'all get back together, y'all work through it, y'all hang out, whatever it is. But I think at the core of who we are, it's friends, and there's certain things I ain't gonna treat my friend that way,
Right.
you know. So that perspective. So maybe we can summarize those in having a God perspective because we keep him in the middle.
Absolutely.
So maybe we'll say, hey, don't marry for potential,
Don't marry for potential.
communication, and then keeping God at the center.
Yep.
That kind of spilled out of all of that
All
right there.
that.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought it was
It's three in there somewhere.
It's three in there somewhere.
Right,
That's
right.
good.
Hey, little bonus.
That's really good. So when you first asked that question, you try to get them to change their mind. How many people have you had anyone to change their mind? I'm just curious.
I haven't had anybody to change their mind, but I've had people to not let me marry. They went and got married because they didn't want the process of um going through that premarital counseling because I'm pretty thorough. Um, because at least I can't make you do anything, but at least I give you an opportunity to make an informed decision.
That's right.
And so when we're in counseling and your future spouse is saying, no, I don't want to disclose this information, then
Red flag.
they pretty much didn't want to go through the process. But what I'll say is this is most of the couples that I've had um the honor, and that's how I look at it too, as an honor to be a part of somebody's lifelong union. Most of the couples that I have the honor to walk through premarital counseling and or marry, they have thanked me.
Right.
I'm
Like,
sure.
that has been a great
It sounds
business.
good.
Yeah.
No, those are some that is an excellent approach to take with anybody that's just being married or whatnot, because it was or considering being married, because it makes them actually sit down and think about their position and
Right.
Mhm.
ask themselves like Tanisha alluded to, like, are you sure?
Yeah.
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 You know?
And you'd be surprised, man. I'll ask couples, so why you want to get married?
Yeah.
And man, they'll name everything under the sun. And I
Right.
said, okay, you can get that with your girlfriend, you get that with your partner, you get that at work. You going down this list of like, so still, why you want to get married? And man, people really will be scratching their head, and we
Right.
have to talk through the process. Now, sometimes they just didn't have the language, to communicate that, but then other times it's just really you're in this whole infatuation and the idea of being married.
Mhm.
They've romanticized it to a degree, and what they're thinking about is more the wedding than the marriage.
That.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
I often tell people that because Derek and I got married at the courthouse.
Hmm.
We got married with Walmart rings.
so the intention was to do the wedding thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that didn't matter to me.
Mm.
Like if I had a wedding and if I had a ring, I waited 10 years. I couldn't wait no more. Like you had to give me one. No, I'm just playing. But I did. If I'm just being honest, I mean, I waited. I did. I waited 9 years,
Yeah.
and those things didn't matter to me because we knew that we wanted to be together. Like Derek and I met April the 9th, and he moved in with me April the 19th, and we were married May the 29th.
Wow.
Wow.
Y'all heard me? Yeah. And
And,
the
and,
same year.
and guess
Like,
what?
Wow.
It's 11 years. It's 11 years later, and we still.
yeah, and literally, you know, and we didn't do marriage counseling or anything, but I wish we would have,
Yeah.
you know.
We've done marriage
Well, hold on, I ain't got to
counseling
that part. We
before.
have done marriage counseling,
Yeah, yeah.
but because that leads to my next question. We have done marriage counseling, but we didn't do the premarital
Yeah.
counseling, and I think people should. Like I vouch for it. But something that I do know, a lot of men, African American men, don't believe in going to counseling. They think,
Mhm.
you know, but I think counseling is very good. So let's talk about this. So you've done the premarital counseling. Now, when do you think, or I guess not when do you think, but if a person is on the verge, they come to you and say, hey, I want a divorce. Do you do counseling? Say, hey, let's go to counseling first, or let's set up some sessions. Like, when do you think people should, before the divorce stage? I guess I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna want to talk them through it. I'm gonna like, hey, let's do everything we can. I just believe God makes all things new. So let's do everything we can to try to salvage it, you know. But there are some instances where that's the options that we have,
Right.
you know. One, I think absence, that means, you know, somebody passed away, of course, is what it is. You know, abandonment. We've had people where they came home and their spouse was just gone.
Wow.
Like, what can you do about that? You know, abuse,
Yeah.
you know, I don't recommend anybody stay there and your life is always on the line and you don't know, you know, what that's going to look like, you know, and so, and adultery, you have a serial cheater, then all of those I see biblically where I have grounds to sever the ties. You see what I mean? And so that's what I look at. Again, I'm going to want to have a conversation with the both of them to see because the other thing about it, like sometimes you have one person they're willing to forgive, they're willing to do the work, and the other person's like they've already checked out. They gone. They physically there, but they gone. You know,
Yeah.
and you can't. I'm careful with my words to say what you can't do. All things are possible with the Lord, you know, but it's very, very difficult for a one-sided um situation
To work.
to work.
It is.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I don't I hope that answers your question, but those are things where I see I'm gonna try whatever we need to try. It's counseling, man, y'all take a break and you know, live in two separate addresses or whatever. I'm going to try whatever we need to try. But then there's some things where it's just, this is where we are.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, this is where
I
we
kept hearing that R. Kelly song in my head. When a woman's fed up,
are. Ain't
ain't
nothing
nothing
you
else you
can
can
do
do
about
about it, man. Ain't nothing you can do about it. It's
it.
over with.
You know, I'm glad that you address those issues because you being a pastor, it's still people that, and not just saying because you're a pastor, everything right,
Yeah,
because people, tend to
yeah,
do that, but respect the man of God. But you said those things, and they in the Bible. You
yeah,
leave, right?
yeah.
And it's just some people that still hold on,
Well, it's like, you know,
you
folks
know,
say God hate divorce, which, you know, that's scripture. God hate liars too.
right,
Oh, he had a liar, a lying tongue, not liars. He had a
right,
lying tongue.
like so.
And so we can go down these things. These things does God hate, so forth and so on. But there are the scripture says God has given us everything we need for life and for godliness. And so everything's in the scripture that outlines how we're to navigate certain situations. I just don't believe, you know, there's a passage in Luke, I believe it's in the 11th chapter, and I don't want to get preachy, but it talks about if us being natural fathers know how to give our children good things, how much more does the Heavenly Father want to give us good things? There's not one of my children that I would say, hey, stay in this relationship. He blacking your eye, he breaking your ribs, but you married him, just suffer through it. As a natural father. So I know the Heavenly Father, who is love,
That's right.
is not requiring that of me. And then we can just look at the woman at the well, and we see she had several husbands, and Jesus said, the one at your house now, he ain't your husband either. So you done just been all, but he says, go and sin no more. So if that was like an unforgivable type of whatever, then we will see some different discord there in that particular instance. So sometimes I think we take things and we run with it, and sometimes we're in a emotional situation. And then sometimes what I've learned too is as pastors, sometimes pastors, we don't have the language, or we're not equipped to share with that person what needs to be shared, whether that's through divorce or sometimes through grieving. Sometimes I hear what leaders say, and I'm like, that's probably not what we wanted to say. And I'm not saying that I know it all by any means, but what I do know is I don't know it all. And so what I'll do is I want to be equipped. I want to be the best shepherd I can. And so I'm going to learn all I can about grief in that process. I'm going to learn all of I can about relationship, that type of thing. And so I think sometimes pastors are just saying what they know to say, or what was said, or what they've heard sometimes, which can be unfortunate because you have a captive audience and people are listening to you, and you say something and somebody, hey, we just pray about it, and then they go home and things may happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we have to we got to stay with the book. That's all we got to do. Stay. It's right there. It's right there for us.
Okay. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. All right. So now we know November 7th is coming up.
Yes.
Fastly approaching.
Yes.
Big retreat going down to Birmingham.
Yes.
Hoover.
Oh, Hoover.
Hoover.
Okay. We'll Hoover. All right. So as the speakers, I want to know, what are some key takeaways that you will hope that married couples will take away from attending the marriage retreat?
Really?
You ready for me?
I
feel like
you got it?
No, I feel like I've been,
Oh. Key takeaways. Let's see. Marriage is work.
Yes.
It's work, but again, it's all in how you look at it. Perspective is everything. And so I can look at it and say, man, 22 years and I'm still dealing with this. I can say, man, 22 years that I still have another opportunity to grow, to learn, to communicate differently, all of that. So perspective is everything. And I think nobody goes into marriage knowing how to be married.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the biggest things that we don't even address. We want to be married, we have the wedding, all of that, and then it's like, okay, now what? And we just, most of us, not everybody, but it's very few that I know of that take time to read books or just do those things to equip yourself.
Yeah.
And so if you don't do those things, it can be hard work. It can be difficult, but I think the retreat is going to be great. One, just to know that you're not by yourself, because sometimes you can be in it and you can feel like, man, we're the only ones dealing with this. We're the only ones. He's the only like that. But to be in a room full of people who you can hear some similarities, that should be a boost to you, or just a sigh of release that, okay, I ain't crazy. It's not just
right.
That's right.
Right. These feelings are normal.
Be beneficial. And then even being able, yes, we're going to share, and God will give us whatever needs to be shared. But I believe there's even going to be some wisdom in that room.
That's correct.
We'll be able to learn from each other. And so the retreat is going to be great, man. Nobody knows everything. And that pride can really get us in trouble, to not even put ourselves in a position to receive the help that we need. But man, one of the statements that we still say to this day, somebody we heard say years ago, get honest so you can get some help. You got to get honest so you can get some help. And help don't mean you're ready for divorce.
That's where I was going. Yeah. Don't feel like we're on the rock, or we're not on the rock, so we don't need to go.
Right.
Some things it's preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
That's it.
Car.
That's right.
You get your oil change, you get the alignment, whatever it is, so you don't have to get to that place. So this retreat is going to be just gas in the tank to help you.
That's right.
If you're doing well, imagine how you're going to do just taking that time to be in that environment. And environment is everything, you know. And I'm really a how-tos guy, and so I want people to leave with some tools that you can
That's
use.
right.
You can use, and when you not just when you get home, but like immediately. I
Mhm.
say this
Get
all
in
the
your
time.
room that night.
That night,
That's it.
This
Right.
conversation.
yeah, some
Been
tools
wanting to
that you
get
can
this
use.
off my chest for a long time.
She gonna,
Right.
but
My
no,
husband.
I can tell.
We've done marriage sessions in the past, and we've had couples, you know, we talk about the intimacy, and for some couples that was the first time they had real conversation about intimacy, and they have
and they
been
have been
married
married
for
for
years.
years.
And
Yeah.
it's like, wow.
Just didn't know how to have the conversation if certain things were off limits, you know. So the thing about us, the how to's, but then we're just open books. All we know how to be is us. You know, we're not
That's it.
coming with the pretense. We're not coming as you know. We're honored to be the speakers, but we're not coming as the speakers and y'all over there. No, we just want to share our life and share our experiences and share
Right.
wisdom. And if we can help somebody and give you some practical things that you can implement, because one of the things, if people can realize and settle that, you know what, marriage is a blessing. You know,
That's
it's
it.
work. It's work, but what that's worth it isn't work in life.
So true.
That's right. That's right.
So work isn't a bad thing. You know, it's just, man, it is, if people can realize you can be happy in marriage, you can be excited about coming home and you're not working 2 extra shifts voluntarily because you don't want to go to the house. You know what I mean? So you know that you
Or
this
be out
really.
playing chess all night.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't say that. Yeah, so you really can love the connection that you have. And it really can be a great thing, you know, and it don't have to be something that's frivolous and you know.
Only when we on vacation,
Yeah.
or anniversary time,
Yeah.
birthday time, and then the rest of the time we'll hardly like each other.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
no.
You don't have to suffer through marriage, man.
Right.
But you
Right.
need to know how to function in a marriage.
Yeah.
You know how to function. How does that look? Like you said, that sometimes none of us were born to none of us were born knowing how to be married. And so getting some of those tips, getting some of those things, I think that's really what I want them to get, some really practical things when they go back to their house, go back to their regular life. It's like I know what to do.
Right.
That's right. So
Yeah.
y'all hear that, people? We're gonna give you some these. We're gonna give you some real how tos.
Real how to's.
Yeah, you ain't just gonna leave that with no doggone what you say? No. What's the words I want to use right now,
Theory,
Joe?
huh?
Right.
No theory, right? Exactly. I don't need no
Yeah.
theory. I don't need no
Philosophies and
ideas and all that. We're
Right.
gonna give you some practical tools that you can use for
Yeah.
preventative maintenance. So when you run into situations, you say, "Dog, you know what? I know exactly how to go about
Yeah.
diffusing this situation because I
Yeah.
went to that marriage retreat."
That's right.
Yeah. And so yeah.
And
We
here's the
want to
thing
equip
about it,
everybody
man.
with them.
Listen, we coming with 22 years of real raw stuff. We just gonna put it on out there. And you know, we want to share everything that we can share. You know, we want to be as helpful as we can be. And so this, you know, we have time for all the stories that we have, but we want to share some of those stories and some insight and things we've learned. And if we can help somebody to not make certain mistakes or things that we've won in, if we can show them how to win too, that's what we're all about. How can we give you what we've learned and what we've experienced and what we've encountered, and you be better for it. Practical things, though, I'm telling you, daily life, daily living.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely love this. I do have a question because you have some people that's probably wondering why. Why are these people so passionate? I have people all the time ask me, because I'm just a person that wants to see everybody win, and I'll help anybody do anything if I can do it and it makes sense. It ain't hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? I just love to see people win. What is it in you two that this is so important to you all?
Like you, I mean, I'll just pick up where you left off. We like seeing people win. I'll say for you, Joy, because then I mean it's in our blood. Like, that's just who we are. From your grandmother, I mean, we just helping is just in our DNA. We can't help it. And so I have had to learn how to scale it back, they ain't ask you for that initial. Like, you gotta learn how
Same.
to offer your assistance.
Right.
But why? Because that's just who we are. And like you said, we didn't go into this knowing how. We knew we wanted it to work. We knew we weren't leaving. Nobody was going anywhere. But how to really still like each other for real after 22 years, we didn't know that. And so if we can learn it and live it before other people, that's one of my whys. The other one, man, you see such a great attack
Yes.
on marriage
Yeah.
in the world.
Yes.
And this world is crazy. Just some of the things that are going on you never thought you would see. A lot of young people, or a lot of people, just don't even believe in marriage. The true biblical definition of marriage is almost, sad to say, extinct. Like, people just don't believe in one man, one woman. That's like almost non-existent. But to be able to show that's what God intended from the beginning, it is still possible. So just to be able to show that and to give people hope that it is possible, and like you said, you don't have to just exist or just go day to day. We married, that's just it. No, it can be enjoyable. So that's part of our why.
Yes, certainly. And I'm by nature a liberator and builder. And so I'm always trying to give people ways to be free, be better. I think life is meant to be enjoyed. I think that you don't have to suffer through and just, you know, deal with certain things and deal with certain people. And then I don't like to see people suffer needlessly. And sometimes people they just don't know
Just
how.
don't know.
They
Yeah.
just don't know how. And so part of my passion is trying to liberate and build people, man, through faith, but also through knowledge, getting some understanding. And when people see that, I love to see the light in their eyes, like, man, this is all right. You know, this is all right. You know, so I enjoy seeing people get free, you know, and be happy
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
and be happy and have that joy that comes
Right.
with it. Yeah, so
So I had to throw that question out there. So for everybody that's watching, know that this is coming from a genuine place. Derek
yeah,
and I would have never thought getting married that this was something that we were gonna do, like y'all, going into the pastor. So God has gave us this vision,
yes,
and this is for His people,
yes,
and it's gonna be good because God said it's gonna be good.
yeah,
And so if you're thinking, you're second guessing, should I come to the marriage retreat? Don't second guess yourself no more.
yeah,
This is it. Because as you're, like you said in one of your videos, just because your marriage is going good, it can get better. It can
yeah,
be great.
yes,
And if it is good,
And
come and
if it
share
is
with
good,
somebody else.
right.
Everything that we get is not just for us. It's not just for it to be good for me and me only. There's some
yes,
other people that need what you have. And so come and learn, draw from other people, share what you have with other people so we can keep multiplying this goodness in
yes,
the
Right,
earth.
right.
Right.
Because that's what it's about, the purpose in it for us too. Not only was it, listening to the call, because I'm not going to sit here and say it was my call per se. It was Joy heard the voice and she passed it to me, you know what I mean? And so I became obedient and following her from
yeah,
how God led her in
yeah,
this whole situation. And I was sold on it because when she brought it to me, I was like, man, that is a good idea because I believe in the power of marriage and what it
yes,
can do for people and persons. And you hear the despair in people's voices when they talk
yes,
about the idea of marriage. Like, I don't want to, I ain't with all that up.
mm-hmm,
And then you see too how people operate as married persons. It's like, hey, you know what, bro? I don't really understand why you got married
Right.
mm-hmm,
if you're
right,
operating that way.
right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
yeah,
Because what's the point? Because you
right,
could be single and operate that way.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
nothing stop you from being single and still operating in that, you know what I mean? So I think marriage, it should be something that's done intentionally. It should be
mm-hmm,
something that's done purposefully.
Mhm.
yes,
And it should be something that's done willfully and not,
yes,
forcefully. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
oh,
right,
I did it because it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, I really believe that marriage can help people
Mhm.
because it
yes,
it, it, it gives them to me, it gives purpose. It gives us a chance to be committed to something, you know.
Hmm.
And I think that to me that shows a lot of character when a person is willing to be committed to something, you know.
Yes.
And, you know, this funny thing you hear young people, especially talk about because you're talking about the friend thing. You know,
Hmm.
it's almost like the wife she becomes a part of a competition between the homeboys and the homegirls.
Yeah.
And most especially I think that's amongst young people. And this weird thing you hear they talk about loyalty. You hear what young people talk about giving loyalty, you know, in the parlance of the young people, they say, me and my dogs, I gotta be loyal to them, or me and my
Hmm.
girl, and I'm loyal to my girl now. But the funny thing that gets overlooked in marriage is where's the loyalty to your mate?
Yes.
Right.
Because how can you say you're loyal and you're a real person when you because you're loyal to your friends that you run around with, but you're not
Hmm.
loyal to the person that you lay in the bed with or
That's
Right.
walk out the house with and say I love
yes.
you to every day.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yes.
makes it's inconsistent to me, man.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
correct.
so
That's
yeah.
correct.
But a
Y-
lot of that is just ignorance. We hadn't been taught how to properly even prioritize relationships. And
Yeah.
so that's one of the things that he covers in the premarital counseling sessions, just that transition from single life and mindset to now you're married. You can't just go when you want to go, do what you want to do, spend when you want to spend. You have this other person that you have to consider, consult, all of that. And so a lot of that, again, if we don't have those open, honest conversations on the front end or at some point during, then yeah, we'll keep operating like we're single because we just haven't been taught.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, we think it's about the day rather than a lifelong journey
Yep.
that we're entering into. And so you got that pre marriage mindset, and then you're wondering why it's not working in a marriage. And then,
Right.
there's something that we call unspoken expectations. It's like
Mhm.
depending on what you expect out of this person as a husband or as a wife, if you don't communicate that, then disappointment is almost inevitable because they're not reading your mind, and then now they're not fulfilling your expectation. Now, did I pick the wrong person? You didn't pick the wrong person. We just need to have a conversation.
Right.
Right?
You're
So,
right about that reading the mind thing. I think that is a big problem where people think you're supposed to read their mind
yeah,
as far as what they want and what their expectations, like you say, is that unmet expectation that
yeah,
this person has that you're not meeting, but it requires you to be able to read their mind for you to meet it.
yes,
It's like,
yeah.
what is going on here? How
I'm
am I
like,
supposed to know you
just
wanted
tell
that?
me. I promise you.
Yeah.
Tell me. It's way easier. Just tell me.
That's right. That's right.
Just tell me.
That's right.
And
Yes.
then people trip me
So
out. They say stuff like, well, the only reason why you doing that is because I said something. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Right. That's what
like,
you wanted, right? You
yeah.
vocalized
And,
that.
and it should show how much I value you
Right.
that you
Right.
saying it, because you could have said it and I ain't do nothing.
Right.
But
Right.
that you
That's a whole
said it
nother
and I
problem.
made the change. I made the adjustment.
Right.
Absolutely.
Correct.
So yeah, some of this stuff, it's just not osmosis. It's like,
Yeah.
come on,
Yeah.
we
They
can,
say communication rule the nation, man.
man, rule the
Understand the
nation.
best thing in the world.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
That's right. Absolutely.
This has been a wonderful conversation. I
Yeah.
really appreciate the two of you
We
taking
appreciate
time out
y'all.
of your day
Yes.
to come on our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not
man.
only that, but
Bless us with your presence and drop them
yes,
Yeah,
jewels
man.
y'all been
We
dropping.
appreciate
yes,
We're
y'all.
looking
Looking
forward to
forward to
more when we get to the
November.
retreat
Likewise.
in
I
Hoover.
want
in
you all to
Hoover.
know, man, before we sign off, I just want you to know how important and how valuable what you're doing is. And I know sometimes when you're doing something and God has you doing it, you're like, okay, what's up with this? And you may not be seeing the results and you're wondering if it's working, are people getting it, whatever. I'm just encouraging you to stay with it and just
Yeah.
know that you're making tremendous impact, and you're making impact that you won't ever uh, more than you really will understand. You have no idea, because some couple is going to see you all and decide to stay together, which in turn is going to be a
That's what we
model for
want.
their children,
That's what
which
we
is in
want.
turn going to prove that a couple can stay together. And if they had not saw you, maybe they would have split up. Now uh we got custody stuff and weekends and all. It just set the whole course. And so don't minimize just the seed that you're planting, and then and the importance of what you're doing. So thank y'all for what you're doing. Thanks for having us on. And I just appreciate you all.
Yes,
man.
of
Thank you
course.
for
I
that.
do want to say this. If someone wants to connect with y'all, because if it's some single people watching this and you thinking about getting married, I'm just saying you need to holler at the Dillons because they need to do your premarital. Do you do Zooms if people
I
are out of
do.
town?
I do. I've done premarital counseling via Zoom, and
Okay.
then
How
I've
can they
flown
connect?
in flown in to go do the wedding.
I love it. How can they connect?
Okay.
And my
Okay.
full name, Tymetric Dillon, Tymetricdillon. They can get me on the platforms, or they can email me directly, Ty Dillon, Tydillon at thepeopleplace.net.
Okay.
Okay. Once again, we appreciate you. Okay, so
Thank
all my
y'all.
viewers, please like, share,
Comment.
comment, subscribe, tag a single person
Yes.
if you are
Yes.
married and you're in and you don't know of a marriage counselor. I'm just saying the Dillons. Go ahead and
Also,
contact them.
subscribe. Make sure to hit that post notification so that you can get updates on any new material that we drop.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. With that being said, see y'all later.